Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jarvis here. You're with me on my IG, my FB, YouTube, and the Wisdom app. And guess what? It's still Jarvis TV. And we have an amazing show for you tonight. I have an amazing guest that is with me. It is one of our premier speakers for Impact Rally 2022. I'm not gonna tell you exactly who it is just yet. But if you read the caption, then you already know who it is, so you'll see exactly who it is. So if you're watching live or you're watching on rebroadcast, I want you to sit back and enjoy and learn how to flip on the activation switch in your life. We'll be right back after this commercial. Yo, so welcome to Jarvis TV, and you have me and my guest, the activation coach, the media host, the entrepreneur, the the list goes on and on and on and on. She's such an amazing woman. None other than Melissa D. White. What's up, Mel? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. The energy is so just hype every time I'm around you. Energy is big. That's what you do. So I'm ready. I'm down to the Impact Rally. Let's go.
Hey, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We are in the countdown. We in the countdown. Look, you got people hollering at you. They got people shouting us out.
They're coming through. They're coming through.
Hey, check out. You see Tosh Renee even jumped in the comments. She's excited about tonight. Excited about tonight. Yeah, and definitely. So she said, hype up the volume. Okay, cool. Let's crank it. Let's make it happen. Let's get with it. Let's take it there. Melissa, listen, I'm excited. You and I, we met in a great time. Actually, it was, looking back at it now, it was a great time. But in the moment, it was like, oh my God. So so people know, a little bit of our history. Melissa and I were both on a reality show that's going to be coming out. And it was intense. That's really all I can say.
Man, look, we can't give them much, but I'm telling you, it's when you get like an empowerment speaker and a motivational speaker together, you gonna walk away with something good. And the fact that we stay connected, we stay bonded to do good work together, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Absolutely. Man, you got people commenting the hair and everything, girl. Look at you. That's why I need
I had to come right. Jarvis always amps up the standards. I had to come right. So y'all know what to expect. This sets the expectation for Impact Rally.
I got you. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Man, so speaking of the Impact Rally, you are one of our premier speakers with the Impact Rally. I'm so honored and so excited to have you on board with us. You are an activation coach. Matter of fact, I'm not going to tell your story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move myself out of the way and allow you, just give you a couple minutes and you just talk about it. Like, let us know. Tell us who is Melissa D. White. Let us know what you got going on, Mel.
Let's get it. So family first, thank you, Jarvis, for letting me do just a little brief takeover of your broadcast live. I got to give it up to y'all. Give it up to Jarvis. He's made a commitment to do a 90-day personal go live challenge. And whenever you make up your mind to do something and commit to it, that means that you're setting and you're elevating what you're bringing to the world. And so what he did was essentially activate his voice. We're talking about how do you turn on an activation switch? First, let me define activation. I know this has been a really popular word lately, but I've been rocking with this word for years, ever since I understood that activation, to activate is to ignite. To activate is to ignite, to flip a switch, to turn something on. So that means if there's an activation switch, there's a go switch, which means if you can turn on a gift, if you can turn on your voice, that means it could be turned off. So I want to just very briefly, for the time I have, let you in a little bit, just a snippet. I can't give you all of it because you got to meet Jarvis and I here in Atlanta with all of his amazing speakers. Look, I'm honored. I mean, the speakers are just, they bring in the heat. And so my job as an activation coach, my personal mission, yeah, that's right, Jarvis, to activate is to ignite. My personal mission is to activate the voices of the unseen and the unheard in kingdom, corporate, and community. Activate the voices of the unseen and unheard in kingdom and corporate and community. Here's what's happened. We're in an open season where the unknowns are becoming the big names. The unknowns are becoming the big names. And so I've been with this mission, this cause, this calling on my life for 5 years. My personal mission is to activate 1,000 voices of speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs to come from behind their businesses and get in front of the camera. I use a model called plan, repurpose, and repeat, where you're actually using video like this, what Jarvis and I are doing tonight, to highly engage and repurpose content so that you're always present and showing up for your people and for your business. Now, why is that important? That is important because we have to be unmuted so that people know that we're their answer. You can't be an answer if you're not showing up to present yourself as an answer. So when you flip an activation switch, that's to say, I'm willing to come from the darkness and be light. I'm also willing to unmute myself to give a message that's resonated for the people I'm called to. Now, catch that, okay? Catch that. You have to know when you're activated. I'm going to tell you, how do I know that I'm activated? You'll know you're activated when there is a gift, an idea, a calling, something that just won't let you go. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Nikita. It's a sound in the earth. We're all calibrated with a unique melody, a unique sound, a unique cadence that's in our voice, in our vocal DNA. Okay. The people around the world call it different things, but this vocal DNA that you have, it is recognized by people who know your voice. Okay. It's recognized by people who call to your message. So here's the thing. I know I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody either. So when you're activated, you'll know, number one, you're activated when your people start showing up. If there are people who are showing up in your life and they're asking you questions, they want your insight, they want your information, start paying attention to the patterns. They're showing up to activate you because your answers are needed in the earth. Your answers, your gift, what you have is now needed in the earth. It is a sign to you when they say the teacher is ready when the student appears. Okay. Your voice is ready when your audience appears. God will always create an audience in order to witness the miracle. Now, the other way you know if you're activated is if you're going through something and it feels like wild and crazy, you're probably going through it not for you, but because it's cultivating a story, a message that you will have to tell when you come through it. Okay? You will have to tell the story when you come through it. The story is not for you. The story is for the people who are behind you. 9 times out of 10, your messaging, your activated message is not for you. It's for the people that are you 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So that activation switch, you have to be ready. When that switch is flipped, you cannot hide. You can't shrink back from the mic and from the camera. And the pandemic forced us to do that. Like a web camera is a staple in every household now. Camera phones are in our hands all day long. So you got $1 million camera and $1 million mic to echo that $1 million message. And that's what we do.
Hey, listen, I'm soaking it up. Listen, I know you and I have been in the same spaces before, and so to listen to you and I was thinking, I was like, man, I know how we are as speakers. I know that we have the ability to give content and elevate people to the
Right.
next level.
Right.
the thing about the two of us is we really focus on teaching people how to fish as opposed to just bringing them some fish to eat. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And in doing that, we will come out here and we're giving you the information. And I want everybody to know, like, listen, the things that Melissa is talking about, this is just the tip of the iceberg of the things that are going to be given. And I'm not saying shared, I'm saying given at
Mm-hmm.
the Impact Rally that is coming up at the end of this month. Like, you don't want to miss this Impact Rally because it's an opportunity to elevate yourself. It's an opportunity to elevate your career. It's an opportunity to elevate your family. It's an opportunity to elevate your business. It's even an opportunity to help birth the ideas that you need to take yourself forward. That's why it's called Impact, an Impact Rally. We're going to be touching so many different facets. You know, one of the things that stuck with me really big last night, we had Natasha Knox on. Absolutely amazing conversation. We were talking about mental health, and
Shout out to Tasha. Yes.
she hit us with that emotional debt. Man,
Woo!
listen, I was talking about emotional debt when I got off of the when I got off of the
Yeah, boy, that thing is deep.
yeah, that was real deep. And you and I have talked about things, and you mentioned a lot about the brain trust, right? The brain trust. So, like, tell us a little bit about like the brain trust. What, because this is all about flipping that activation switch on. You know, I was very
Yeah.
intentional in talking about you being an activation coach, the activation hour, flipping the activation switch on. Well, flipping that activation switch on, it's important. It's very important because in flipping that activation switch on, follow me, now you're moving. Now
Yeah.
you've been ignited. And I love that you gave the definition. To activate is to ignite. When
Yeah.
I think of ignition and igniting something, something cannot be ignited unless there is a flame that is attached to it, some charge of energy, some spark of life.
Right.
Follow me. So, man, talk about it. Talk about it. Give us what you got. I'm loving it, and I see the people jumping in over here on IG. We got
What's up,
people over here
IG
on YouTube,
family?
Facebook. They're all over the place. So go ahead, talk about it. Even the Wisdom app, talk about it.
All right. So when we talk about brain trust, just a second ago I was talking about the $1 million phone. You got, I mean, I walk around with $1 million tablet, $1 million laptop, and here's the thing. Um I was giving you examples of what an activation is. You know, everybody's running around talking about Holy Spirit activate or whatever, and not realizing you have to be really careful what you're asking for. When people are saying they want a gift, there's a responsibility that comes through that with that. And brain trust is literally, statistically, we only use about 10% of our brain. But it's in that untapped part, those unlocked memories, those suppressed moments in life, that's a gold mine. So that, like, there's brain trust in us, like literally where God is trusting parts of our intellect, parts of our mind, parts of what we have in our gifts, to deposit it into other people. When you put something in a trust, you have to think like a trust fund. That's something that's supposed to literally supply and take care of and provision for generations. So imagine if the message you're putting out, I told you everything I do is about your message, about your voice, about being seen and being heard. So imagine, Jarvis, imagine Instagram family, YouTube family, Facebook family, if you start putting out your story, your message, your content now, that you're taking the brain trust out of your head and you're creating $1 million well of content that, if used properly with a plan, will now make provision for you, your business, your children, your children's children's children. Why do we still read books? There are books that have been around for centuries. That is somebody who decided to be seen, to be heard, to put their words on paper. The words we're using right now, there's wealth in those words, and I'll prove it to you. Speakers get paid. It blows my mind, Jarvis, and I'm humbled by it that God thought enough to say, I'm gonna make you multi-talented. And I won't get too deep into that. You know, I can go into that message about being multi-talented,
Hey,
multi-wealth.
yeah.
If you read Matthew 25, you'll catch what I'm talking about. But
Mhm.
when you tap into the multi-talents and you use your voice, there's
Right,
wealth in those words as speakers. Like, that's wielding a lot of power. It says,
right.
life and death is in the power of the tongue. And
Right.
we have the power to either ignite, activate, impact people, nudge them to do something. I know you're very big about that. That
Yes.
I'm not speaking for the sake of entertainment. I'm speaking for the sake of activation so that you move upon the word that's spoken. God spoke a word and something was formed. When we speak words, do we not believe that lives are changed and things are formed and my destiny is
Right.
shifted? So it's
Yeah.
so powerful, and we have to understand to live a life of impact, like you say, Jarvis, is to live a life where we're moving people into action.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, I'm just soaking it all up. Like the only challenge I have when I'm on live with you and we're in spaces together, it's almost like it reminds me of like when I was growing up. I grew up around some great basketball players. Some of them played in the NBA. One in particular, his name was Jamal Crawford. This dude was like probably the best ball handler I'd ever met in my entire life. Like Maul was
Mhm.
like the man. So I remember we were playing, we were at University of Washington. We were all home visiting for the summer. We're playing intramurals or just a pickup game. And I'm on his team. So I'm standing there watching him just dribble and do all this stuff and like all this amazing stuff. And that's how I feel when I'm on a screen with you. I'm in the space thing. I'm watching you and I'm like, dang, that's some good stuff. Like I literally hit, I'm gonna keep my pen and paper next to me.
When we
I'm
get
putting
together,
myself,
it's notes on notes on notes. It's the real deal. But
I'm
the
putting
fact
my
that
head
we're
down and
not,
writing just because you're there.
the fact that we're not stingy with this, and you're inviting
Right.
people to partake, to come
Yeah.
and say, "Look, get all of this." Like
Yeah.
we wanted to pour over from private conversations and siloed information to really see
Yeah.
people. Like I want to pour. I want to die so empty. Like everything in this notebook, everything in these conversations, I want the people to have it. Like for real.
Yes, yes. And I recommend it. It's something that, when it comes to flipping the switch in your life, when it comes to making an impact, setting yourself up for impact, when it comes to accomplishing your goals, when it comes to, leading your teams, when it comes to leading your family, when it comes to making the business decision, showing up for work, showing up, whatever it is you got to show up for, you have to remember that you matter, that there is a purpose behind what you're doing, whether you feel like it or not, whether you know it or not. About all of what we do is we are giving this stuff to you intentionally because we want to see you at the next level. You have to remember that you're going to deal with self-loathing thoughts. Am I right? Because they're
Mhm.
still going to come. It don't matter how amazing you feel like you are, because I know there's times where I've jumped on a call with you, Melissa, and we've been trying to just talk shop, but we stopped for a minute. It's like, how are you feeling? Like, how are you really feeling right now? You kind of sound like you're off a little bit, or and that's where you got somebody who's in the game with you, that it's like, okay, we on this page together.
Right.
Let's sharpen. It's iron
Right.
sharpening iron. It's not, and let me clear this up for anybody who's out there, because people will hear, they'll see a man and a woman talking about this and they'll be like, oh, okay, okay. No, no, no,
Mm-mm.
not at all. What it is you have a man and a woman who both have a call in their life, who are destined for purpose, who are running in the same direction, who have
That's
ran
right.
across each other's paths, and we are able to platonically connect with each other and say, hey, bruh, hey, sis, how can I help you get to the next level? So when
Correct.
we have those questions, there's not any underlining agendas behind it. You know what I mean? And it's I want to say that because people will look and they have a hard time seeing it, right? They have a hard time knowing that it's possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's and the other thing. Well, go ahead. I feel like you about to say something great.
No, I just wanted to speak to that really quick. I think another part of coming to events like this or connecting in settings like this is that we put relationships in proper perspective for impact.
Right. Oh yes. Say that
Like
again. Relationships and proper perspective for
put
impact.
relationships in proper perspective. If you're struggling and something you're doing is not taking off and you feel like, well, ain't nobody supporting me, ain't nobody showing up for me, maybe you need to take an evaluation of the community, the people around you, and how
Mm,
are you allowing them? How are you allowing them to show up? And have you identified their role? Sometimes, like like you and I, we were very clear, like, hey, this is the role I see that you have in my life and my purpose or whatever.
Right,
You have to be adult enough. We have to be mature enough in our next level that we can look through a new filter, like not look through the filter of the past and how we treated relationships in the past, but say, hey, God, who is this person in this season? Who are they? Is this an impact partner? And is this an activation partner? Is this someone
right,
who is coming alongside me? Who I notice every time I talk to them, I feel courageous. I feel bold. I feel compelled to speak up. I feel like I'm the best part of myself. You have to really assess that. And I think again, if you're not getting that in whatever circles you're in, you need to evaluate your circle, and that might be why you need to be at this rally. And you may feel like,
yeah,
hey, I don't know anybody there. I don't know anybody in Atlanta. Or I'm in Atlanta and I got a group of people already, but you're the tightest one in your circle. You need to get another circle. You're gonna
yeah,
be uncomfortable when you get around impact partners and activation partners because you won't be the smartest person in the room anymore. It's gonna require you to tap into that brain trust I talked about. And they're
yes,
gonna start pulling ideas out of you that you scared of.
yeah,
You're gonna be terrified of those ideas, but they're gonna hold you accountable to them. And
yeah,
so you have to be willing to identify the relationships and put them in proper perspective and allow them to do what they do. You have to allow the people that come into your life to do the work that God sent them to do.
yeah, man. And even as you're talking, like I'm thinking about, there are so many things that I know that I've learned from you in the short time that we've known each other.
Likewise.
And I was saying, you've told me like, hey, I've learned so much in this, and that's what it's about. It's about making. That's what networking is all about. It's about finding the right people, like you said, who can be impact partners with you, who can help you go to the next level, who can, who have a positive view and are not afraid to talk about the negative things. you know and there are people, now let's not get it twisted, there are people who will try to game this thing, but you can always pick them off. One of the things that I know, and I know it in my heart, is is that I can tell that the people, I hate when I see people who jump into a speaking platform, or try to chase the empowerment platform, and they're looking at it from a perspective of, I'm gonna make a bunch of money, because you can tell they're rehearsed. They're rehearsed. They all sound the same. Everybody's cadence are the same. And it's kind of like you don't really feel anything when you're done, right? When you have people who are in this and you're called to this, like us, it's easy. It comes out in regular conversation. It comes out as we're sitting and we're talking to each other. It comes out as, like one time you said something, I was like, man, that's my topic tonight. I was like, I'm running with that right now.
And here's the thing: when you're around the right people, I don't care nothing about you using my topic.
Right.
God does not give a
Right,
shortage
man.
of ideas.
Hey,
Like
listen, you
every
can
idea
say
he
go
give
do
me ain't
something,
for
and
me.
what?
It ain't for me. So when that
Listen,
activation switch, it might be for me to just help you get activated so you go talk about it. And I can release it
right,
and let it go so the next idea can come. So you need to get around some people that ain't scared and who's not stingy or timid. And they say, hey, take it, run
yeah.
with it, do it. I want to
Hey,
see
let's
you
do
get better.
this. Let's do this. Let me run a quick commercial, because this is a perfect time to do a quick commercial break. This is a short commercial break, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's I wish that you were on YouTube or Instagram, because this one you're gonna actually have to be able to read.
I'm
I'm gonna
watching all of them. I got all the
Oh,
screens.
okay, good. So I'm gonna pull this commercial up. It's about 15 seconds or so. For those of you who are on Wisdom and you're on IG, listen to it. But basically, it's talking about not giving in to self rejection. That's pretty much what it is. It's not giving in to self rejection.
Good.
So, Melissa, I'm gonna bring you back up after this commercial, and I'm gonna take us away to this commercial so that everybody can get to see or hear what's going on. Enjoy the commercial.
What are your dreams? What's been stopping you from your dreams? I'll tell you, it's been yourself. So look yourself in the eye and say, you can't stop me. Now tell yourself, I was built for this. No, tell yourself, I was built for this. I was made to last. This is what I was meant for.
All right, like I said, it was a short commercial, but you heard it. I was built for this. I was made to last. This is what I was built for. But it definitely talked about self-rejection. There was actually some words on the screen that talked about self-rejection. So I got my girl with me, Melissa D. White. We are talking about activating your life. We are talking about the Impact Rally. We want you to make sure that you meet us at the Impact Rally. You got to, I'm going to tell you now, register now. Register right now. JarvisHenderson.com. Register now. If you are not able to make it into the area, there are virtual tickets available. If you want to get that Impact, people looking for a discount, you want to get an Impact discount, I'll tell you what, that Impact discount, all you got to do is text me at 386-200-1394, and that will give you that Impact, that Impact discount. You want to text Impact to 386-200-1394, and that'll put you in the Impact community, and there's a special Impact community rate that you'll get. But let's jump back into it. So, man, Melissa D, Mel D.W. Hey, so I talked to you about the Impact Rally, and then you were more than willing to jump on board with it, and I'm like so excited about that. So I mean, share the, like, what made you give the yes to, like, hey, I definitely want to be a part of this.
Accountability, straight up.
Okay.
It was like you said, when you know you got a tribe of people around you that make you great and make you better.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, what you were talking about, things you learned from me, what I learned from you was when you give your word, like your mindset is so sharp.
Yeah.
When you say, like, yo, I'm gonna go live for 90 days. Yo, I'm gonna do a rally. Like, not to me, I know a lot of people with ideas, but I don't know a lot of people that act on them.
Yeah.
And so when you said it, I'm there. Like, and when I'm like, I'm there as a supporter. I'm there to pour back in, because I know what it's like to organize something and pour out. And sometimes, like, I've learned to show up and serve and sow in good ground. It ain't even about, and the speaking was a bonus. I was just, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that you have to keep that mentality though. I don't care how big your platform is. When you show up to serve, watch what happens to what you're planting and building too. So
yeah,
that's why it's so important to me. So it's some people probably watching this. It's like, well, I don't know if this for me, or I got my own thing going on. Watch what happens if you just show up with a servant's heart. If you just show up like, hey, I'm really here to support this brother because he's doing a good thing. Or I'm here because if I need to give this information back to my community. Right. Or whatever, but watch what it's gonna do for you though, just for showing up.
That's good. And you know what? It's so funny because that kind of correlates with some of what I was talking about with Natasha yesterday, Natasha Knox. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we were talking about is, and this is actually pre-show before we even got on and started talking, but we were talking about how people they have a hard time investing in themselves because they don't see the value of making the investment into themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed is, like, I'm always people watching. Like, I went out to Publix today to go get some groceries and stuff, get myself prepared for this winter storm that's coming. Right, the winter storm. We expected some snow, so
now let's get some context. For those of y'all watching and you're not in Atlanta, Georgia, y'all already know, like, when they say snow here, I don't know. Let me not speak like inches of snow, but either way,
I will say this is what I will say. I have seen a lot of snow here at one point, but it's it's one of those. It's definitely one of those. But okay, so let me go ahead and let me say this. Okay, so you have to invest in yourself, right? Yes. And I was talking about how I went to Publix, and I'm walking around Publix, and I'm actually just kind of just scanning the aisles, and I'm looking for the things that I need. But I noticed every woman that I walked past, it was a Louis Vuitton, a Gucci, that new purse with the T on it. I can't think of the name of it. I'm looking at shoes. Every dude, I'm seeing them Jordans. I'm seeing, and it's nothing light of being like fresh and clean, right? But I know the cost of these items. Mm-hmm. I know the value of these items. Mm-hmm. I also know that those items are going to lose value the minute you sit it down. Plain and simple. How many times does a woman buy this expensive purse, but she only uses it once in a blue moon because it's an outfit purse, or it's a travel purse, or I want to have it for this event? How many times does a guy buy a pair of shoes and he buy these Jordans and he spend $300 on a pair of Jordans, but he won't invest in his very soul? It's crazy because I'm thinking about it like this. We care more about the soles of our feet than we do the soles of our life. And the soul of your life is impacted by what you can pour into yourself. And if you're not familiar with what your soul is, Let me break it down for you. It's your mind, your will, and your emotions. Plain and simple.
Come
You
on,
know,
come
the
on.
so if I look at it like that, you making that investment into the bag, you making the investment into the shoes, you making the investment into the jacket, the clothes, whatever the case is. There's nothing wrong with that. Please hear me say that. There's nothing wrong with that. I find that people have a hard time investing into their brain equity, their brain trust, and their personal development. Every year I purposely find 3 or 4 different conferences that I can attend. Even during the pandemic, I was sitting and I was watching stuff virtually, paying to attend things because I know the value of the information that's being given to me.
Yeah.
That's why you got teachers. That's why you got professors. That's why when you step into a job, they train you on how to do it. You don't just walk in knowing how to do it. They take the time. There's money invested into you. We see it as I'm getting paid to do this. No, they're paying you to learn how to do something. We just don't look at it like that. We're challenging you to invest in yourself and join us at the impact rally. That's crazy. Like I know I kind of went off on this side
No, I
tangent,
think
but
that needed to be said. And I see some comments here. People are just sharing about it being hard to invest in yourself. And here's what changed the game for me. More word in, more word out.
mm-hmm.
More motivation in, more motivation out.
Yep.
So it is the most selfless thing I can do is continue to sharpen myself so that I'm not giving dull information or dull messages to people. I have to
Right.
constantly stay sharpened
Right.
for the people that I serve.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, we only use about 10% of our brain, and we have to. It's you exercise your brain. It's a muscle, and I know that's a part of what we're doing at the Impact Rally too. Is talking about exercise, but it is a mental exercise of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the investment, and if you do struggle with investing in yourself, make it about somebody else you love.
Right.
Like we'll go way above and beyond for our kids, our mama, our
That's
brother,
so
our
good.
sister. And some people have that mentality where we're selfless to a fault. So what would it do for your family?
Yeah.
If you invest in yourself. If it's hard to consider you, then consider the ones you love or consider the community that you serve. So make it about them. Be serving of others. And I think that's one way to look at it. Yeah, it's that brain exercise that muscle. And discipline is a muscle.
Yes, it is. It's definitely a muscle, man. Like I said, I'm so excited about what is going to happen at the Impact Rally. I'm so excited about the speakers that are coming. I'm so happy and honored to have you on board. I like what man. I love the comments that are coming through. Like there's a lot of comments. Be serving the others.
Y'all
Yes.
killing in the comments. We appreciate you.
I'm looking for my girl Tasha Renee to start dropping them nuggets and gems, and she was dropping nuggets, and she probably sitting there taking a bunch of notes right now. She better quit being selfish and start sharing them nuggets that she got. But it's one of those things when we're looking at activating our lives, when we're looking at the Impact Rally, when we're looking at individuals like ourselves who are taking the time to come out here and do this. We are literally, and it's kind of funny. I'm going to give us a quick commercial, but you and I are going to stay on to see this commercial. But we are the people who stay ready. And I want you to see what happens when you don't stay ready. If you are on IG, if you are on the Wisdom app, you won't be able to see this video. However, you may be able to hear it. But I have nothing more to say about it. I'm just gonna hit y'all with the stay ready. And going and attending something like the Impact Rally, it helps you to stay ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Every day we wake up intentionally looking to see what we can do to serve the people around us. My thing is, how can I impact 10,000 lives today? My thing is, what am I going to get up and go do? Go do something. Get up off your butt. Go do something. Ever since I met you, Melissa, it's about, okay, what do I need to activate in my life right now? And that's the good thing about when you come across good people, you're always questioning what they say to you is now holding you accountable. I have a friend who was applying some great pressure. And I missed the pressure that they were applying. And that sometimes it was even uncomfortable. But pressure is supposed to be uncomfortable because it pushes you to the next level. If
Mhm.
diamonds crumbled under pressure, we would never know what a diamond was.
Right.
We would never know what a diamond was. If pearls didn't come from pressure of gook and stress and strain, we would never know what pearls are.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
So in order for us to shine bright like a diamond. Like, wait.
You always got a song.
In order for us to get to that level, we got to stay ready. So let's check this out. I mean, they probably gonna tell from our reaction what this looks like, but let's check this out.
Already. It's like I've seen that before, but it's still funny to me. Bro, he had all this time. He didn't see what everybody else was doing. You in the back of the line. You in the back of the line.
It's almost like
what was you doing?
Every time I see that, I think of something different. Like and I wish that that it ran all the way through to where he was just laid out flat on the ground because he was knocked out cold. But it's almost like he saw everybody else moving in front of him, and he got this arrogant posture, right? Like, oh yeah, yeah. And before he was able to even make his move, he wasn't ready because he was acting out of his pride, acting out of the cockiness, the arrogance of what he saw everybody else do, but he didn't even put in the work or prepare himself to be able to do it himself. So how many people are watching us or listening to us now that they are the ones that are not applying the pressure to themselves? They're the ones that are not ready. They're the ones who are pretenders. I like to call them pretenders, who are out here. They're not even really, they're not putting in the work. They know how to say the right things because they read it somewhere or they heard somebody else say it. They've been listening to somebody's podcast or something and they're regurgitating it, but they're not necessarily living what they're saying. And those are the people that when life comes, they're going to be that one and they're going to be like,
I mean, I'm not laughing, but it's the truth. It's too much education and opportunity around us. The opportunity meets you at a place of preparation.
Yes. Hey, let me do this really quick because a lot of people, they will listen to you speak. They know in your title that there's minister on the flyer. And so they will listen. People can easily make the assumption that this is just gonna be churchy. This is gonna be all about churches. But what they don't know is that you are not just a activation coach.
Yeah,
you're a corporate coach, a corporate consultant. Mm-hmm. You've worked and spent a lot of time in corporate America. Mm-hmm. You are a media host who has her own show. Matter of fact, you just did another taping of a show yesterday.
Yeah.
That I was like, I wish I could have been there, but you was like, you have stuff to do, so you do what you got to do, and I'm gonna do my show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in with your people to get booked for your show, though. You know what I'm saying? If you are anyone who works with Activation Hour, let them know that Jarvis Henderson would be a great guest for Activation
He got an inside scoop. He gonna be on the show.
Yeah.
So
talk about it.
You're talking about these titles, right? That's actually what we focus on the show is purpose at work and in the world. And let me just say this: this is not a churchy event. If you walk with me, you're gonna get God and you're gonna get activation. And laughs in between. Like it's just gonna happen. But I had to learn how to navigate and be a voice in all those areas, right? Like we can't be so holy that we're no earthly good. And I had to balance that message. Yeah. And sometimes people think, oh, you a minister, oh my God. And anybody that know me, like I preach from, I serve from, I speak from my own real life situations, and I equate it to like biblical principles. And like I don't have to, like, even if I'm in a corporate setting and I'm not speaking Jesus, I still use the formula of parables. I tell a lot of stories. So it's I'm thankful that I get to do this work. I can show up and be flying, pop my collar, and not be in suits all day long no more. Like I get to. But that's what happens when you serve the gift and you keep showing up and you get to create the life.
I got you.
Activation. Like Impact is a lifestyle. Activation is a lifestyle. So I
Yeah.
don't care what title you give me. I just know what I'm showing up.
Right. Right. And I'm so glad of that. Because we both had a conversation about that and we talked about it, where I talked about how like the success that I've had in my career. And it's so funny because I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe earlier, and it was back when the book The Secret came out, and he was like, I'm gonna tell y'all that y'all wasted your money on this, he said, y'all wasted your money and I'm giving you the secret right now. This is the secret. But he was basically giving biblical principle. He said, you went and paid all this money for something that somebody went through and they just pulled out all of the scriptures and just told you all the things, the
That's
naming and
exactly what
claiming,
it
the
was.
speaking and see it. I mean, and we know that because we understand. Like, even when people were like, well, you got to read it. I read it. I listened to it. And I was like, wait a minute. These sound like scriptures.
Like, go read your Bible.
Like, I was like,
But
man.
you know what? Everybody doesn't have a palate to handle it when it's
That's
how to
true.
give people a
That's
plate
true.
that they can eat from. You feel what I'm
That's
saying?
true. That's true.
And
That's
so
so
that
true.
means I got to give it to you wrapped in a story. I got to give it to you wrapped in corporate language. I got to give it to you in funny TikTok videos, like whatever. You have to understand that's the key. That's the essence of being a speaker or a coach. You have to know the unique, that go back to full circle. When you talk about an activation switch, you have to know when to turn it on, when to turn it off. You have to know how to be a thermostat and a thermometer. You have to know when to turn the heat up in the room and how to deliver that thing. You have to know when to turn it down and pull back.
Yes. Hey, listen, you speaking my language, so I'm just like, ooh, she done had a conversation with Jarvis.
I know.
But I would tell you, like, it's everything that we do, no matter what book you go out and read, no matter what, and I'm talking about on like a self-empowerment, motivational piece, they all carry biblical principles. It's just that, like you said, not everybody can palate it. Unfortunately, the way that the world works is that when you start talking about God, or you mention church, or you mention Jesus, or you mention anything like that, people they tend to start building these walls and feeling like you're bringing a wall of judgment. Where the reality is, and I'm just going to be very transparent, when we do this impact rally, I'm really trying to have an open bar. I'm really trying to do a happy hour. I'm really trying to allow people to be in their element, because I want you to know that you just be yourself, bring yourself to the table and allow us to pour into you so that when you leave, you're full. Like, there's no way, me looking at the speakers that are coming and the speakers that are a part of this, even down to like there's just one or two more that are making a decision that we'll hear about as to whether or not they'll be able to be there. But even down to that, every single individual that's there is bringing so much. They're bringing so much heat.
That's right.
They're bringing so much power. They're bringing so much authority. They're bringing so much knowledge. Even I'm just like mind blown looking at it. Like, these are conferences that if the Impact Rally is something that if I wasn't doing it and somebody else was doing it and they were like, hey, it's going to cost, $500 to get there, I would looking at who's coming, I'd be like, yeah, I'm there.
If you look at that flyer, I'm honored to be on that roster. I'm like, oh man, bring my A+ name.
Hey, listen, matter of fact, this is what I'm gonna do. Just because we're talking about it, we're gonna do another commercial break. All right. And this commercial break, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the commercial that introduces the speakers.
Yeah.
Now y'all see, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, you see Melissa D sitting in her fly recording space. That
let me tell you something.
Hold on. I gotta show off my candle. Check out my blue candle right here, y'all.
Look, that is the process. This is a 5-year work in the making.
check out my serve bottle. You know what I'm saying? I got my own saying on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Don't pay attention to those pretty colors in the back of Coach Melissa D's office. Pay attention to Nah, the optics are fly though. I love it. But hey, listen, let me run this commercial. We're gonna run this commercial, and I want them to see who the speakers are, and then we'll come back and we'll get ready to bring this thing to a close. And then we'll get ready to get up out of here. But man, you guys, if you're on IG, I'm telling you, go jump on YouTube. Go Jarvis. It's Jarvis Henderson TV. Go jump on YouTube or go over to Facebook, the original Jarvis. That way you can actually see the commercials and not just hear them. If you're on the Wisdom app,
it's
thank
an
you so much for being there.
experience.
And I will say this, if anybody wants to contribute to the conversation, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, just ask to join and I will allow for you to join in the conversation. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this right now, just in case there's somebody who's over on YouTube or Facebook that would like to be a part of what we're doing right now, and just jump in on the conversation a little bit. And there's a link that you can hit that link. So even if it's one of the speakers, feel free, jump in. I'd love to have you on here. I'm not monopolizing anything. If there's anybody on the Wisdom app and you have something you want to say about activation and activating your life and turning on your activation switch, there's a lot of very intelligent and wise people over on the Wisdom app, hence Wisdom. But while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go to this commercial. And I got a good song for us to go out to tonight, too. A real good one.
What you got?
I ain't telling you, man. You got to wait and hear it, man. I'm trying to get all the beans. All right, let's go ahead and let's run this commercial. And we will be right back after this commercial. Yo, if you guys could see the two of us during that commercial, we both back here dancing because that commercial got a nice little vibe to it.
I'm like, hey.
Yeah, man. Yes. So, man, listen, we have had a great conversation tonight, and I want to just take a few minutes and just kind of give them some nuggets on the way out. I mean, it's not like we haven't given any nuggets as we've been speaking, because we have given a lot. There's been it's somebody could listen to us communicate like this on this live and feel like, okay, I got everything I need from that I will get at the background. This is not even scratching the surface.
You want the
this
full
is
experience.
Thank you. This is a fun conversation between friends. Like, this is where, and what's funny is this is what our common conversations are like.
It really is.
This is what a common. This is. Hey, Mel, what's up? Hey, I wanted to find out. Did you get the flyer that I sent over to you? Yeah, man. How's your day going, man? And then it turns into this. Man, I was talking with somebody and boom, boom, and we're throwing ideas back and forth. Come on, man. You got to have people in the crew like that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we do what's called, what's the word that they used to call it? They used to call it cross-training in the corporate space, but we do what's called cross-serving. And in cross-serving, I help to serve with Melissa and her activation team. I'm in the activation coaching group that she has on Facebook. I've joined the activation community. Because listen, the Activation Nation, I'm all about trying to serve wherever I can serve. And the funny thing, she's a part of Impact Nation, y'all. She has joined Impact Nation.
I'm in there.
She's in the Impact community. She pops up in team meetings every once in a blue moon. Like, who are you? No, I'm joking. We don't treat her like that. we don't treat her like that because she brings so much value. She brings so much value. She's a great friend to have and an amazing team member, and I appreciate that. So, man, listen, let's take a couple minutes, Melissa, and let's well, let me see this because people have been active in the chats. Is there anybody in the chat that has any question for either myself or
people? Any questions about what we're gonna do, what we're gonna talk about? I mean, I just know that we want, if you're still listening and locked in, you're like, I don't know if it's for me. You've been on here because If this
Mm-hmm.
popped up on your feed, your timeline, it's for you or
Mm-hmm.
somebody connected to you. Okay.
Right.
Um, and I'll also say when I remember when you birthed this thing, it was really with the idea it modeled your own lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
of impact, like physical impact through
Yep.
fitness and wellness, through mental impact about what you're reading, what you're putting into your mind, how you're
Yep.
cultivating your thoughts and your
Right.
ideas. Like vocal impact from the stage, community impact, like you serve youth
Mm.
and you serve corporations and teams and all of that
Right.
stuff. And so it's to make sure that people are gleaning from that lifestyle. And if you're looking for a lifestyle change, everybody's talking about resolutions, and really what you're saying is just like, hey, I just want a different life than the one I have now. And you have the
Yes.
power to recreate that.
Yes.
And so I would say this broadcast is your activation switch.
Yeah.
This is your switch. The light got turned on. Like, impact rally. I might need to be there. Impact rally. I do want to make a difference. If
Yep.
you're feeling like you're going through every day in a mundane way, this was to wake you up
Mm.
so that you can live a life of intention and impact. It's a big
You know,
difference.
and I'm gonna say this, because it's been on my heart to do it. Anybody who registers tonight, I have a very special gift that I'm going to give to one of them. I
Can I
may give
register
that
with
gift.
me?
You said, can you register again? I may give that to all of them, or I may just give it to one of them. But I have a very special gift that I'm going to give to them, because it's I the challenge I have is when people, again, we can put our money into things like we invest into death every single day. And let me help you out.
Ooh,
Um,
talk about that.
the investing into death every single day. Every time you take a drink, every time you smoke, every time you, like, these are things that, although they add to pleasurable moments, right?
Mm,
Or we may look at it like, oh, it's calming my nerves, or maybe those things are literally, they're toxins that we're placing in our body. So we're investing, we spend great money to die. Every time that we drink and we drink ourselves into a stupor, we drown our brain and we lose brain cells. You know what I mean? Like those are things that literally happen, that we are so numb to it because that's the way that the world is. Now, here, this is what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to drink. It's not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if you smoke. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I see the investment of the addiction to cigarettes, right? There's an investment in that. There's an investment to an addiction to weed. There's an investment to an addiction to alcohol, right?
mm.
Because all of these things take good money to put into it for you to have it, and that's a challenge. And there's some people, the investment that you're putting into to killing yourself is an investment in the junk food all the time. You like first in the line at Popeyes, McDonald's, and all these other places, getting all these like blah, blah, like you
Yes.
just chow
Yeah.
down. You go into the grocery store, and then the Spark, and they have tags now to show you what's like healthier choice. You like bump the healthier choice. I'm about to get these ho cakes, like you pulling baby D's on them, like, cupcake. Host just got a new cupcake coming out. When you buy it, got sparkles that come. Like you dealing with that type of stuff. Like there's so many
That's
different
real.
things that I could go through, honestly, that we put our money into that is harmful to us versus putting money into something that is an investment into our life, an investment into living. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing, right? Your faith is an action of what you believe to see come true in your life every single day. When you get up and you're like, today's going to be a good day, that is literally a faith statement, whether or not you believe it or not. You've
That's
said
right.
it and you stay out. When you go into work, you have a preconceived thought of what you want your day to look like. That is operating in faith, whether you know it or not. And instead of investing into those positive things, which something like this is investing to that, like the information you're going to get in this impact rally is literally the equivalency of what you will get from reading 10 to 20 books in this first month of the year.
Mhm.
It is. Because think about it. Every book that you've read, every book that Bob has read, every book that Natasha has read, every book that Promise has read, every book that that Donk has read, right? We're bringing all of that knowledge into one space. And we're
That's
giving it to
that's
people.
that's woo. That's
And
atomic.
not even that. Here's the other part of it. Every book that I've written, every book that Bob's written, every book that Promises is a 4-time international best-selling author. I didn't know that until we were talking.
Crazy.
Every book that Natasha has written, every book that Donk has written, everything that we put pen to paper on, we're bringing all that stuff into this environment to take people to the next level. Oh my God!
Like y'all don't understand. Like these
fired up.
speakers are so humble, yo. And to sit at the table. I think I don't want to get it wrong, but somebody said like, would you rather have like $1 million or sit in a conversation with Jay-Z or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a million Jay-Z's out there,
right?
Like sometimes it's you so worried about what's this gonna cost me. What is it gonna cost you to not be in this room? Like, what is it gonna? It's gonna cost you not being where you need to be in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year.
Absolutely.
That's what it's gonna cost you.
Absolutely.
It's gonna cost you your message and the book you need to finish and the fitness routine to build up your endurance. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you to not be there more than it will be to be in the room. That's it. That's something.
Man, and the same way that your emotions can be driven and turned and influenced based off of whatever you would binge watch through those 2 days, is that to the 23rd power. And I got that from I got that 23rd power from an old movie, Vampire in Brooklyn. And he said, "You seen Wolfman?" he said, well, take that to the 24th power. He said some other choice words in there, but that's what this event is going to be for you. And I know it to be true. Life. Yeah, I know it to be true. And there's so much more that's coming from this. I got to tell y'all, there's so much more that's coming from this. I wish I could share with you guys the more that's coming from this, but I cannot share it until after the Impact Rally. I may even share it at the Impact Rally, but there was something that was presented to me to make this an annual thing in a particular area. And listen, what?
You better get in now while you can.
Oh man, listen. Ain't nobody hearing me. I'm just throwing stuff around.
Look. Next time the price goes up.
Hey,
you know what? There's never been an early adopter on $1 million idea. People forget about that. Like, there's nothing like, you better catch it in the beginning phases, and then everybody want to be a part of it when it blow up.
Yes. Man, listen, we got one more commercial that we got to run because we done talked about the Impact Rally. You have done enough to activate anybody who's been listening tonight. And so we need to show them how to register, and I'm gonna show them this commercial. This commercial is gonna show them how to register, and then we come back. You gonna stick around to jam out with me on the way out?
I got you. I'm with you.
Okay. Yo, we about to get this. Man, listen, y'all. This has been, you have been on here with not just Mr. Impact, not just Mr. Go Do Something, not just your host of Jarvis TV, whose name happens to be Jarvis, but also the activation coach, Miss Activation herself, founder and host of the Activation Hour. Give it up for Coach Melissa D. White. I'm gonna get sound effects next time. I'm gonna get them sound effects next time. I promise. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy this commercial. When we come back from this commercial, we are going to jam out and get out of here in light kind. All right. So enjoy this commercial, and we will be right back.
Hey, what are you waiting for? Go register for the Impact Rally now.
Yo, so welcome back from this commercial break. You still have me and Coach Melissa D, the activation coach, Melissa D. White. She's bringing that heat, y'all. I'm telling you, what you got tonight was just a scratch on the surface of the information that is going to be given to you in the place to be, which is the the Impact Rally. And that might be for you, girl, activation rally.
Oh,
2022, January 28th and 29th. It is right out here in the Atlanta area, downtown Duluth, Courtyard Marriott. It is, listen, me and the team have already been back and forth over there looking at stuff, get some things set up. There are discounted rates for people who need to travel in to stay. So make sure that you register ASAP. There are limited VIP tickets. Get those ASAP. You definitely want to get VIP. As well as there's general admission tickets. Space is limited, but when we run out of space, it's okay because we still have the virtual platform for you to be able to attend. So we are, like I said, we about to get out of here. Melissa D, you got anything you want to say to the people before we get up out of here?
meet us at the rally, y'all.
Uh-oh,
That's
you're
all
muted.
I'm gonna say. I ain't giving nothing. Y'all gotta see.
Hey, you're
us
muted. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. No,
Okay.
you weren't muted. I'm sorry. You were fine. For some reason on my end it muted. I am so sorry. Go ahead.
Look, I'm gonna say it again.
Go ahead.
Just meet us at the rally. I'm saving it. I'm storing up. I'm storing up so I can come in the room and just explode. Just go in.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be some serious like live activations in the room. You're gonna leave.
Yes.
If you don't know your message now, you're gonna know it when you come to my session at this rally.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Sorry, your boy is excited. Hey, listen. So tonight we going out with an artist that I love. His name is Swoop. That's SWOOPE. He's got a song that's out and it's called Put In Work. It's gonna take putting in work. And that's what we're gonna get out of here with tonight. So this is Put In Work by my guy Swoop.
Yo. All that talking useless. Don't need no excuses. Shortcuts for the foolish. Only one way to do this. Put in work. Put in work. Put in work.
To make you what it is.
Put in work.
Yo, hey, listen, I'm gonna let IG go first. IG, thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. Love y'all. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here, Jarvis TV. All right, so yo, Coach Mel. Hey, mad love to you, girl. We about to say peace out to everybody over here on YouTube and Facebook. You have been on here with myself, Jarvis Henderson, Jarvis TV, Mr. Impact. Let's go do something. And the activation coach herself, media host of Activation Hour, Melissa D. White. Y'all have a good evening, and we will holler at y'all later. Good night.
Legendary with the game.